Hi, my name is Ellie, and I'm an enrollment services representative here at Muskegon Community College. That means that I get to work with lots of incoming students, new students who maybe have questions about college in general or about MCC in particular, how to get started in school, or maybe they're just gathering information about college and about community college and the benefits of community college. It's a great job to be out talking to so many students, and the number one question that I would say that I hear out in the field is, how do I pay for school? Which is a really good question and a smart question to be thinking about. So who better to ask than our Director of Financial Aid here at Muskegon Community College. I'm going to be sitting down with him to ask him a few questions about what is financial aid and how do students go through the financial aid process. Okay, great. Hi, Bruce. How are you doing today?
Great. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks so much for agreeing to talk with me. We had some questions about the financial aid process here at MCC, so of course we figured you'd be a great person to come
Absolutely.
to. And the first thing that I was wondering about, if a student is out there or thinking about taking classes but wants to know more about financial aid, what would be their first step to applying for financial aid?
Well, the first step for applying for financial aid, and probably 80% of the financial aid we award out of this office, starts with completing what's called the free application for federal student aid, or the FAFSA. You're going to hear that over and over again.
Okay.
And when you do that, you're applying for state financial aid, federal financial aid, even some institutional scholarships and grants are based on completing that FAFSA.
Okay. So institutional, like from MCC, from the college as an
Yes,
institution?
because a lot of times the scholarships are based on financial need. And when you fill out this application, that's what we're determining is your eligibility for need-based scholarships and grants.
Here at MCC.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
great. So you told us a little about where that money comes from, some from the federal or state government or from MCC itself, but what types of things are they actually applying for? What types of financial aid are there?
Well, there's really two types of financial aid that you're going to be applying for. One's called gift aid, and that's the good stuff. That's what you want to receive, the free money, so you have to repay that.
I would love gifts of money. That's
gift
fine.
aid.
Okay.
And that's based on a formula of financial need. The other is called self-help financial aid. Many of our students will work part-time on campus through the Federal Work-Study Program, part-time job, 15, 20 hours a week. They get a regular paycheck, just like you would at a regular job. They can use that to help pay for their educational expenses. And student loans is also a self-help type financial aid program.
And
so we need you to complete that FAFSA to determine eligibility.
If you're eligible for that. And we've heard about those loans too, but I think that's a tricky one. It's a loan, but it still is financial aid. It's still a self-help aid.
It is. It's a pretty simple process to get this loan. It's a signature loan. It's guaranteed by the federal government. So you do have to first fill out the FAFSA correctly.
Okay, to see if you're eligible. Okay. And then after students apply, how do they know what they're eligible for? If all this is based on eligibility, what happens after they apply?
Well, we'll receive your FAFSA electronically after you apply. We draw that information into our computer system. We check it and see if it's picked for a process called verification. The Department of Education, about a third of all applications have to go through this process, and we got to collect maybe tax returns, or we might have to collect a statement of how many people live in your family, or maybe child support paid.
Okay.
You can watch your Web Advisor account, and it will show you if you are missing documents with MCC.
I see. So students apply, but then it's going to take a little bit of time and more documents might be needed. So Web Advisor, that's the computer system we have where like a student, they have their own student profile. So as long as students are keeping up to date with their Web Advisor, checking their MCC email, would they get an email too about any of that stuff?
Well, if you are missing documents, we will send a paper letter and we follow up with 2 emails to your MCC email account.
Okay.
So check that often too. Once we receive all the documents, we review it, make sure it's correct. If it isn't, we make the corrections and send it back, and we get the document back, the FAFSA back again with the correct information. We review it, we award it, and we'll send you a paper award letter.
Okay.
So look for that to come in the mail Process maybe 4 to 6 weeks after you apply. You should hear something.
Okay. All right. So that award letter, is that kind of the final step then in the financial aid application process?
Well, not necessarily, because you may need a student loan. So the student loan requires an extra step. You have to go to our website under muskegoncc.edu/financial aid. And then you click on the left-hand side under loans, how to apply.
Okay.
And it's a 3-step process to apply for the student loan. So that is an extra step.
All right, so the FAFSA shows if you're eligible for those kind of things, but something like a loan, which is a pretty, something you want to make sure you know what all the parameters are for a loan and what you're getting into. There's going to be a few more things to go through.
Exactly. We want to make sure if you go into debt, you understand the terms of the loan, you fill out all the legal documents that go with it.
Okay.
And we need to know when you want the loan. Do you want it for fall, winter? Maybe you just need a little money in the fall and you don't need it for the next semester.
So those are, because MCC, we run on the semester system. So some students, might be here in the fall and the winter semester, but not the summer.
Right.
Depends on the student. I know a lot of other folks who are looking into financial aid, maybe students in their junior, senior year, or adults who are coming back to school and wondering how to finance it. They're wondering, are there any other things they can look for? What other ways can they get some other help paying for college?
Well, you can do a scholarship search, and we do have scholarships on our website.
Okay.
That you can review, and we update that on a regular basis, so it is always changing. A couple websites you can do a search is fastweb.com.
Okay.
And the other one is the Muskegon Community Foundation. I believe it's www.cffmc.org.
Yeah.
And they have
they
a
have
wonderful resource for Muskegon County. So I recommend going to that one and looking for scholarships to apply for.
Through the county. And I know for scholarships, one of the biggest things to know is just you got to apply early. The scholarships come up way before the semester even starts. I think usually March 1st is a deadline for a lot of scholarships.
Many of them are early.
For September
March,
classes.
Right.
But you got to apply high March or something.
And it takes a little bit of effort sometimes to make sure you answer all the questions completely. Sometimes you have to go for an interview.
Okay.
So there is an additional, extra work, but it's usually worth the price. If you can receive a scholarship for $1,000 for 3 hours worth of work, that's pretty good money.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good money. I would take that, to work on an essay for a few hours and then get $1,000, that's a pretty good hourly rate. So definitely worth the work. I would agree to look into some of those scholarships. Are there any other programs here in Michigan that students can look for to help them pay for college?
Yes, the biggest one is probably the TIP program.
Okay, TIP. I think I've heard of that.
Stands for Tuition Incentive Program, and a student can be eligible as early as the 6th grade. It's based on if a family was eligible for Medicaid benefits for 24 out of 36 consecutive months, that
so
they can, 2 years, they can qualify for this. They'll get a letter from the Department of Treasury, and you fill it out, you send it back to them before you graduate from high school, and you're eligible. For MCC, that's good for your first 2 years for your associate's degree.
Wow, the TIP program is for MCC. It's all of their tuition, you said, for 2 years?
Up to 24 credit hours per year.
Okay.
For all their tuition. The student will be responsible for the fees.
Okay.
Some of the fees involved with the class.
Okay, but the tuition is definitely going to be
yes.
more of a bulk of a cost than the fees. So if you're eligible for that program, almost close to like free schooling here at MCC for 2 years. Pretty good deal, so definitely something. But you said to look out for a letter in the mail that would have to be turned in.
Right, and I would say if you're not sure, check with your high school counselor. They can find out for you.
Yes, those high school counselors, they know a lot. So.
They do.
Okay, that's probably good advice. I guess speaking of advice, is there any other advice that you have for students of any age who are seeking financial aid for college?
Well, there are some other sources. Make sure you check with your place of employment or your parents' place of employment. See if there's any benefits there.
Okay.
There's tax credits. Now, it doesn't help you up front, but you get to claim some of your expenses on your tax return for the next
afterwards.
year, so you
That's a
get some of that
nice
money back. Do a scholarship search, and also make sure that you check the financial aid's website. Now, ours is muskegoncc/financial aid.
Okay.
Lots of good information on the website that you can
Okay.
find.
Sounds good. Great. Well, thanks so much for your time, and we look forward to helping out students in the future here at MCC.